Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Dean.
And this is Bryan.
Welcome back. This is Geekus Speakus.
Hey, yeah, welcome back again.
How's everyone doing? I'm doing pretty good.
I'm doing all right. Yeah, doing all right.
That's excellent. I before we get started, I did want to say I did watch the first couple of episodes of Flash and the TV series. Have you watched any of those by chance?
Nope, I can't stand like the WB production, WB/CW production values. It's why I can't get into Supernatural.
Fair enough. I have a small problem with the first season. Is that they talk about how there was a mass like dark matter explosion, and none of the scientists that work for the corporation, Star Labs, bothered to check if anything happened to them. They just kind of brushed it off. It kind of annoyed me.
That's comic books. You just kind of ignore it. Um, I uh, I watched Defenders last night.
How is it?
It was pr it was pretty good.
Sweet. I need to do a lot of catching up before I watch that. Like it's on my list. I added it, but I still got to finish Jessica Jones and start Daredevil. I know they've been out for a while, but
You haven't watched Daredevil yet?
no,
Daredevil was like the best one.
I know, and I've watched all of Luke Cage. I've watched most of Iron Fist. I've watched a few episodes of Jessica Jones. None of Daredevil. Just not, and it's nothing.
What?
I can't get myself to sit there for more than an hour watching something. That's one of the same reasons why I haven't finished the first season of Stranger Things.
Oh. I put it on in the background and work on other shit while it's on.
I thought about that, but then I'm gonna miss whatever is going on because it's all visual stuff except for the fight scenes. Up.
Then put Daredevil on visually impaired mode. It's got visually impaired mode for the
Uh,
deaf.
oh,
Not the deaf, the blind.
Yeah.
So they actually have a track that is literally describing the action on screen.
Oh, okay. I see what they did there.
Mm-hmm.
All right then. All right, I might can start doing that whenever I'm editing this. Well, let's go ahead and kick into it like we normally do every week if we can. Starting off with trailer talk.
There's a couple trailers out. Let's see here. Looks like there's only like three major ones that I can see that I can think of.
Yeah.
Trailers are kind of burnt out right now. But there is some other stuff that it looks really cool. So why don't you tackle that first trailer?
Okay. One of the first ones on our list was the trailer for the Dark Crystal prequel that Netflix is making.
Sure, that's fine. I'm not a big Dark Crystal fan.
I'll be honest. The first time watched Dark Crystal, I was a kid, so it kind of frightened me because I was a little wimp. So maybe I should go back and watch it again. I know that it has a fan base to it. I was not part of that fan base.
I'm not a big fan of it. To me, it's my least favorite Jim Henson project. I don't like it.
See, I have a very controversial idea on the Jim Henson products. My least favorite was actually Labyrinth.
Oh, I think Labyrinth's like my second least favorite. The only thing that makes up for it is David Bowie. And I really get annoyed at that movie because it's like, oh, I know David Bowie. He was in Labyrinth. Labyrinth. It's like the dude
Yeah.
had like a 40-year music 50-year music career, was fucking amazing at like just the music he made. It's like, no, don't fucking talk. I don't care about the Labyrinth. I care about fucking, spiders from Mars and, Space Oddity and all that shit.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. A lot of people's like, oh, I know David Bowie. He's from Labyrinth, like you said. And I was like, I mean, I guess, yeah, but that's not really know what he's known for.
Yeah.
He was a rock star first, and then was on the Labyrinth. So,
He was a huge magician.
uh, let's see. The other trailer that was on our list would be like a 1 minute Punisher trailer,
There
which
are those. Yeah.
it
Yeah, the Punisher doesn't really show much.
it's not interesting so far.
looks like we're gonna get some more background info, but yeah.
I know people who love the Punisher. Honestly, as far as anti-heroes go, he's my least favorite of any kind. He's really not that awesome.
I don't mind the Punisher, but my issue is people like is with people who are all there should be more heroes like the Punisher. And it's like, no,
No.
that's if Batman just killed the Joker, it would solve everything. No, that's not how that works.
I just don't like him. He's not really that well written majority of the time. There's no story that has particularly caught my attention. He's just, I'm a crazy guy with guns killing people. That's not.
Yeah.
I have revenge movies for that. If I want to watch it, I got like, what was the movie we talked about last episode? Death Wish.
The yeah, that's a Punisher the Punisher Max comics are pretty good though because it's the R-rated Marvel, spin-offs. And those ones get really good because it's like there's no other superheroes. It's just a straight up, you know, Death Wish comic. Because Punisher always feels a little out of place in the comic universe.
Yeah, he does. Well, I mean, they have a list of heroes in the Marvel universe that don't really fit. One of which is Punisher, and in my opinion, Blade.
Oh,
Because
Blade, yeah,
yeah,
Blade. That whole vampire thing is weird. Um, Punisher, the guy who's been an angel, a Frankenstein, black.
Frankencastle.
He's been all of those. Yeah, there was a period of time where Punisher was a black man. It was still Frank Castle, but for some reason he was a black man.
My favorite part actually was whenever it was Frank Castle goes into the Archie universe.
Ah, that one's a good one. And then I guess there's another Star Wars trailer, but it's like a bunch of behind the scenes stuff than an old trailer. I
Yeah,
will say though that thing with Carrie Fisher did make me tear up a little.
yeah, it really did. It was
It's just like, oh, I'm sad now.
yeah, and like you said, I hope they don't just kill her off in a really stupid way in the upcoming movie. They really need to like end it perfectly. Big, huge bang.
Yeah. Well, not a lot in the movies. I mean, we're kind of shit at research, but whatever. That's fine. I don't care. I'm doing this not for you. I'm doing it for me.
Yeah.
Um, but to keep our stuff of trailer talk of being stuff that we're looking forward to, or that looks cool, not just movies.
We can go ahead. Just on comic news, Netflix just bought Mark Miller's Miller World.
Yeah, he bought Millar's stuff. Mark Millar's pretty good. Um, yeah, no, he's pretty good. I got no complaints. There is a couple things that have come out with his name that were just kind of ugh. But for the most part, it's his work is pretty solid.
Yeah, I will say that I'm not overly familiar with his work beyond Kick-Ass. Because excuse me, I did read the comics up until the third set, and like it's done well for the comics, and the first two movies were pretty good renditions of it. So who knows what they're gonna do with this? They're gonna have a lot of options that they'll have for the upcoming shows that they can do.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I actually think I liked the Kick-Ass movie over the comics.
I'm a big fan of.
I like how the
God.
I like how the movie ended better than the comics.
I was more of a comic fan in this case, just because they treated things a little bit. I mean, slightly more realistic than the movies.
Well, yeah, but at the end of the movie, he's all like, at the end of the second movie is where it's just like, okay, I like that better than the comics.
I mean, I certainly get your point. The only thing I had to say is I really like the battle on Times Square in the comic books, and the second series, because
Yeah,
that was well done. And they couldn't do it for the second movie, obviously, but they did it instead was his club, which was not as cool as my opinion. I know you couldn't get Times Square to shut down to do that. Still, it just wasn't my preference.
yeah, um, yeah. So the thing load for you yet?
Yeah, I have it right here. And yeah, that's pretty badass. It's a Riobot Nerve Anti-G Weapon
All
Shiri
right,
Prototype Unit 01.
all right. So It's basically a hybrid Evangelion Godzilla designed by the guy who made Yuji Shinakawa, I want to say. Yoji Shinakawa. And he is the guy who designed all the robots from the Metal Gear games and Zone of the Enders. So your Kojima robot stuff, he designed those, and then he designed this, which is a Godzilla Eva hybrid, and it's so fucking cool.
That's pretty cool. It literally looks like if you took Evangelion but made Godzilla into an Evangelion mech. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Are you gonna buy this when it comes out?
It's supposed to come out this month.
Oh, sweet.
So, but that's like $200. So.
Who?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's awesome. I'm looking at it. It's a really great picture. That'll be sweet.
Yeah. Let's see here. Let's take a look at your stuff. Oh yeah, there's one I put on there. Netflix will stop carrying Disney and Marvel stuff. Anything Disney owned by the end of 2019. But yeah,
I'm not a big fan of this actually. Like I'm not a huge Disney person, I'll admit.
I'm not either, and I'm not either.
It's just, but there are some movies where I was like, I want to catch up on this, what people won't shut up about. Admittedly, they're mostly my friends who are also parents, but still, I want to go see what this movie is. I don't want to have to pay for a new streaming service because we already have a lot of streaming services.
Yeah, no, building another streaming service is not too many people. There's a ton of like CBS is doing it, a couple other channels are doing it. It's like, no, stop making your own streaming service. Nobody's gonna use you.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna complain and be like, well, it's your fault we failed. And it's like, no, you didn't give enough like stuff for people to use.
Yeah, and it's really dumb. It's like, how to put it? The streaming service is going bubble. The streaming service bubble is going to pop because there's too many subscriber fatigue.
At the end of the day, I think what's going to be left is Hulu, Netflix, and Amazon. But Amazon will only be there because it's part of Amazon Prime, and nobody buys Amazon Prime for the streaming service.
Yeah, and
I guess like Crunchyroll and the Crunchyroll / Funimation, since they're essentially the same thing.
They'll stick around, but a lot of these other ones, like CISO is actually going under. We talked about this a few episodes ago. They sold a bunch of their shows to Verve.
Oh yeah, the Verve thing. I like the idea behind Verve. The annoying part is there's no way for me to join my accounts to it because I'm already paying for Netflix and stuff, but there's no way for me to be like, here's my Netflix account, add it to Verve.
Yeah. And they have pretty much every streaming service well, not every, but they have a lot of streaming services available to you, including like what is currently CISO, Crunchyroll, I think one of the other NBC.
They've got all the major ones.
And I agree. I like the concept of just like a hub to watch these, but it's still a pain in the neck. They can't just merge it. You're already paying for it, so why not just be able to merge it?
Yeah, and I don't think this is gonna. I know there's some people who are gonna get it, but like, I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be that great of a thing. Speaking of Disney, Gil had a chance to watch the new DuckTales.
How was it?
It was pretty good.
Did it bring back the nostalgia feels?
It definitely has the nostalgia feel, and with some modernization. So they got rid of some of the annoying stuff that happens in a lot of like late '80s, early '90s cartoons. Webby is tolerable. Actually, she's more than tolerable. She's pretty great.
I heard they're not bringing out the next episode until September. Was that right?
Yeah, this was just like a preview movie thing that a lot of things are doing now to get you hyped.
Well, we're on Disney, by the way. I actually been branching up on some of those animated movies just for the hell of it. So I watch Moana once again.
Moana was good.
It was good. If I had to say one problem is that Disney has this thing of making characters that don't really get anywhere personally. And I say this because in Moana, she's a strong, independent woman and ends the movie as a strong, independent woman. She doesn't really learn much.
Yeah, no, she learns stuff. She learns important stuff. It's the big thing on there is sometimes it's okay to it. No, the big message on that one I noticed was with the grandma of, hey, you're just a kid. Sometimes it's okay to fail.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. It's just they didn't really explore like she didn't she didn't further much as a person for the most part. There was that it's okay to fail, and she did show her persistence, which is a good thing. Persistence can
Mhm.
be a good thing. But I mean, other than that, though, I'd say the movie was pretty good. Uh, I think they gave Rock too much shit for his singing. It wasn't terrible.
No, he sang within his range. It was good.
Well, yeah. I mean, what do you expect out of the Rock? He's not really a singer, and
No, he is not.
it is an enjoyable song. I had it stuck in my head for days. Just that one.
Yeah, that one's a good one. My favorite song in the movie is the one that was done by the dude from the Flight of the Conchords. The
Oh,
crab
Jermaine.
song.
Jermaine.
Yeah, Jermaine. Jermaine was in there, and Jermaine does good.
I had to say, like, the weirdest thing to me about this movie is that they try and keep it with Polynesian actors, but they brought in Jermaine, who's a New Zealander, and Lin Manuel Miranda for the music, who is Puerto Rican. So it was like, why are those two the exceptions in this movie?
Because technically New Zealand is part of um um
It's part of the Pacific. It's a
Pacific.
Pacific
It's
Island,
it's it's considered a Pacific island, and he was playing a bad guy compared to the more traditional Maori looking Rock. And then you got Manuel, what's its face, who is a big he's just big on music right now, and that's
yeah.
how Disney movies work, is they get a bigger music person to do the music for their stuff. Like they did Sting for one of them, Phil Collins
True.
for another. They just do that. They'll get the one musician to do music for them for their movie.
On a side note, I watched just a wee bit of Pocahontas yesterday from another series that makes fun of movies, and I did not realize when I was a kid that was Mel Gibson playing John Smith.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. I was like, that's fucking Mel Gibson? Seriously?
Yep. That's Mel Gibson. Sorry, I had to
Uh,
help the rabbit for a second. He got him so stuck. Okay, I'm back. So let's go ahead and go through these continue going through these news articles. Boom. Let's see here. Wait for that. That. All right. Japan is experiencing a ninja shortage, apparently.
yeah, it's they have shinobi stage actors which act as ninjas, or they do behind the scene works depending on how traditionally you go. And they're having a shortage of it. I will say I will volunteer. I will volunteer. I'll be a ninja. I'm cool with this concept.
For the ninja has no honor. It will destroy the ninja clans
Eh.
through interpretive dance.
Oh shit! This is Step Up 3, the Ninja Chronicles.
Uh, let's keep going through these. Secret World is getting a TV series.
Yeah, that's it's a pretty cool concept. It has
I,
the
I I played a bit of it when it came out on beta. I haven't played it in forever, but it was a fun concept.
I like the idea because it's probably the closest thing we're gonna get to a World of Darkness MMO. And I kind of like dark games at times. The problem I was running to in this case was though, is I've never played these games, but it may be an interesting idea to put it into a TV series based off what I have read. The other thing is that they're getting Johnny Depp's studio to help produce this, which is a bit weird to me.
It makes sense, actually.
It does, and I think it's a bit weird that Johnny Depp cares about video games in any way, shape, or form. I don't know. I just don't think.
No, he doesn't care about video games. He cares about spooky doopy stuff.
I mean, that's true. Like, dude is weird. Have you ever seen interviews with him? He's a weird guy.
Oh yeah, no, you can kind of tell.
Uh, So yeah, that'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to that. Let's see. Did they say what it will be on
I think it's Netflix.
Netflix? Okay. Let's see. Going from there, there is the massive new Gundam store.
I can never go there. I will probably bankrupt myself if I ever went there, and then I'd be trying to figure out how to ship like a giant crate of Gundams back to the States. And then I have to explain to somebody why do you need this giant wooden crate. I'm like, you don't understand.
Gundams.
I need my giant robots.
Just like imagine going to your apartment or your roommate coming out of your apartment seeing like crates from Japan of just Gundam stuff.
One that you need like a pry bar to open up.
Yeah.
Speaking of Gundam, the new full size Gundam that they've been building since they took down the RX-78, they've been building the RX double zero. Let me check real quick. I have no RX-0. I have it sitting. I have the model sitting right there. The RX-0 unicorn, full size, is coming together quite well. I'm hoping when it's done, it'll transform and light up.
I will not be impressed until we can actually pilot the mech. Until then, it's just a large statue.
It's an extremely cool art statue.
I'll give you that. It does look like a cool large statue. I like.
That's what they should replace all these statues in the South with, are giant robots.
Yeah, we'll just get like a few from like Gundam, Eureka 7, Evangelion. I was like, there you go.
Gigantor, Mazinger Z.
Yeah, Robotech.
Yeah, just giant robots everywhere.
That would look freaking awesome. It's like imagine going up to your state capitol building, where the Congress is, and instead of having a statue of some Southern general, you have a giant statue of like a Gundam there. That'd be freaking awesome.
Right? Just more giant robot statues. Man, that shop looks super cool though. More reason for me to try to visit Japan.
Yeah, it's on my list of countries I need to visit someday.
Trying to make All right, what's the next one? Speaking of staying in Japan, Kojima Sensei, thanks Konami.
Yeah, and I mean this kind of surprises me in the aspect that he did it, but
well, Konami gave him a ton of
leeway.
Leeway. They let him do a bunch of stuff, and like, yeah, they had a huge falling out, but it's pretty big of him to be like, thank you, you gave me this opportunity. And yeah, they let him do a bunch of stuff, and then Konami went under the deep end, and we don't talk about them anymore.
Microtransactions. Sorry. Yeah, I was a bit surprised by this, but I'm happy that Kojima has calmed down a bit by this. I remember whenever he first left, there was a big, huge hoopla about it, and even
well, yeah, Konami fucked him over really bad.
Yeah. And then was I'm gonna screw up his name. Guillermo del Toro even like basically it's tweeted but yelled at them for doing it.
Yeah, no, Konami, but because Kojima made some. Speaking of Metal Gear, Zone of the Enders, Police, not a ton of great games.
Interesting note.
But they're all games that are like, can you explain the plot to me? Or do you understand what's going on? And you just kind of look at it and go, shrugging. Well, nanobots, soldiers, something. It's just cool. Don't worry about it.
You get to kill giant mechs? Alright, sold. I had to say, though, it's an interesting note is that Guillermo del Toro is actually best friends with Hideo Kojima. Not even a joke.
Yeah, no, they get along. Speaking of giant mechs, oh man, Iron Harvest, the Scythe thing. Yeah, I've seen shit for this. I've actually seen some toys for this as well. Iron Harvest, an RTS based on the 2016 board game Scythe, which is basically World War I with mechs.
Yeah.
And I've seen some toys related to this, and I've seen some other stuff related to this, and it's super cool.
Yeah. This actually, I haven't played RTSs in a while, mostly because I'm not good at them.
I can't do the modern like StarCraft RTSs. I'm not fast enough. I prefer the slower, methodical planning ones than the rush, 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 rush.
Yeah. Well, if you like that, then you may like that they recently re-released StarCraft under the remastered version.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna try to get that at some point.
I want
It's
to
an
get that too.
expansion to you need the original StarCraft to play it, but that is free now.
Yeah.
So, but it's technically like an expansion.
So that's awesome. I'm probably gonna try and get that game myself. I like to play just games of StarCraft because, like you, I don't move very fast, and sometimes those RTSs can get crazy.
Mm-hmm. Like some clicks per minute, and it's like I'm gonna do two.
Yeah, the same way. I'm just gonna I got like 3 clicks per minute, and most of that is just go harvest this mineral. There you go.
I'm gonna build up my base and work on a plan. But yeah, no, that we've seen that one already. Yeah, no, it's that looks pretty cool. But yeah, StarCraft Remastered's out. You should go play it. It looks pretty good. Oh, it's so hot, but water has so many calories. I'm so dehydrated. What am I going to do? All I have is this regular full fat water, but I'm trying to watch my figure.
Well, Brian, I've got good news for you.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. Introduce the new Agua de Nada. It is a new diet water with 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 trans fats, and no additives to it.
That sounds amazing. I know I hate additives in my water. All that hydrogen and all that oxygen. It's so ridiculous. For somebody trying to watch their figure like me, who also gets dehydrated.
Now you can go to the beach unabashed. You can just go out there with your Agua de Nada.
Wow, thanks Agua de Nada. This is refreshing.
Agua de Nada. This is also something to drink.
Also from Agua de Nada is Aero de Puro.
Air de Puro. When you think the air is just not pure enough.
Prince officially gets his own shade of purple.
Yeah. Well, I was never huge into Prince, but I know that he was pretty.
I like Prince. Prince is like Bowie.
Yeah.
His music is a wide variety. He is a virtuoso at the guitar, and there is stuff worth like listening to.
Yeah, and much like Bowie, he's extremely eccentric.
Mm-hmm.
Vaults of stuff he will never release because he didn't like them. Like
Yep.
movies, songs, music videos, nothing. We will never see those.
But yeah, Prince is But yeah, no, Prince purple. Like it makes sense. Like
Yeah.
Prince wore purple all the time.
Yeah, and that was his color of choice. He always wore it, and when he was doing shows, so it makes sense they would do a Prince purple, much like they've done like a Ferrari red.
Going through some of this stuff. It's there's a supposedly a new It throwback game. Doesn't look that great. The new It does not look good. I don't like this Pennywise.
Same.
It's just yeah.
I was like, it doesn't look that great to me. Of course, it was my least favorite Stephen King novel. I'm not gonna lie. Like people loved it. I'm like, no. Shining was awesome. Shining is my story. That's like the perfect horror story to me because it had a good combination of like jump scares and atmosphere scares and all kinds of stuff. And this was just, I just don't care for it. It was not something I liked. And then they're looking about making a video game. It's old style video game, I guess, which is interesting, and hopefully not as bad as the Friday the 13th game for the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Speaking of Friday the 13th, that game apparently the new one is apparently pretty fun now that they've gotten the bugs out.
That's good. There's a surge of those types of games nowadays. You may have heard of of course you know about the Friday the 13th game, but they also have Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
Same general concept. They've included Mike Myers in a recent.
Oh, I had the link here for a second ago. I can't find it right now. But there's a board game that also has the same concept where you play as the killer. It's a board game that they're working on kickstarting. They have like the demos going around, conventions, and it's you're playing as a monster trying to murder teenagers, and it looks pretty fun.
Of course, we're probably gonna get some more news over the time because as we speak, Gen Con is going on right now. Biggest tabletop convention in the country.
Oh yeah, it's an exciting convention.
Wait, is Gen Con happening now? Yeah, Gen Con is happening.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I actually got a new game that was released during Gen Con. I can't wait to play it. Speaking of that, they're bringing back the 30th anniversary. Well, they're bringing the 30th anniversary edition of the West End Games version of Star Wars.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That was the first Star Wars tabletop. I think West End Games is still around, but this is a cool concept that they're bringing it back. They're going to reprint it and everything and release it. So it'll be nice to have that around. I may actually pick that up because right now I'm only playing like the 2003 version.
I play Saga.
I like how Saga expanded past the movies, but I don't like the balance of Jedi and Soldier because there shouldn't be a balance.
I don't have my players play Jedi, so
fair enough.
It's fine for me. I make it very rare for them to be Jedi, and I felt that was my biggest complaint of the 2003 one is Jedi are way overpowered. Like, I get it, you need to be overpowered, but like at that point, just make them NPCs.
Yeah. Maybe we should try out the Fantasy Flight version that came out a few years ago.
That one I've been meaning to try. Fantasy Flight does good stuff.
Yeah, I would say my only real complaint about the Fantasy Flight version is they have custom dice you need. I mean, you can get a conversion table, but I was told by one of the players who play it often, it's kind of a pain to do it.
Oh, that's annoying.
And they're not exactly cheap. I think there's something like $10 to $15 for a set of their custom dice. Not a big fan of that. I mean, you still get to make your own character, and there's the Age of Rebellion version, which offers pretty much no force powers at all, which I know is your preference.
Yeah.
But
I like my force powers being rare and powerful.
Yeah. But I might go ahead and pick up this version of West End Games. That might be interesting.
Yeah, no, it'd be pretty cool. It looks pretty cool. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. LeVar Burton is being sued over his reading Rainbow Revival Dreams by himself. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of when John Fogerty got sued because the song... Okay, so John Fogerty got sued by the record company because the song he made solo sounded too much like a song he wrote when he was in CCR.
Oh, that's lame.
Yeah, he wrote both songs, and they're like, "No, your song too sounds too much." He ended up winning the suit because you can't, rip off yourself.
Right. Well, it's like up until last year, the Happy Birthday song was considered copyrighted. Did you know that?
Oh no! What happened last year is they found out that the copyright was null and void for like 50 years.
Well, the way they set it up is according to the court ruling, because I've read the whole article on it. It was the court had said just because the tune is the same doesn't mean the song is the same, so you don't have the rights to the tune. Because really the song went how'd it go is good morning to you, or something like that.
Yeah.
It was a wake up song basically. And the court's like, it's similar but not the same, so you have no legal precedence.
Yep, and it turns out all that stuff for like so many years was like, no, it didn't become copyright. The copyright was reversed.
Yeah. The copyright was reversed, and like this is ridiculous because if you've ever been to restaurant and you were trying to embarrass your friends by making
Happy birthday
Yeah.
from all of us to you. I wish it was my birthday so we could party too. Hey,
Yeah, restaurants couldn't do happy birthday songs. They do something like that, or he's a jolly good fellow. One of the two.
he's a jolly good feller. He's a jolly good feller. He's a jolly good feller.
Not gonna lie, the first thing. Not gonna lie, the first thing Anthony said was he's a jolly good fellow. But yeah.
I'm sorry, I had to wait till I had to interrupt you on each of them.
The next one that we're gonna talk about is one you had when posted. I know you're pretty big into Rick and Morty, excuse me.
Oh yeah, Rick Morty. Yeah.
And they get some really awesome looking fan art for the Vindicators.
Yeah. They're the Vindicators. They're all dead now. It's like, well, Morty. Yeah, they got it. They'll suck. I can't do very good voices for Rick and Morty. I'm garbage at this.
That's okay. I have a friend who tries to talk whenever he burps, and every time he does, I'm like, okay, Rick.
Fucking Rick and Morty's pretty good. I love Rick and Morty. That Vindicator episode was pretty good. That fan art looks really cool. They are missing Noob.
Yeah, but I'd read this comic if they made one. It looks pretty badass.
Yeah, right. That was That looks pretty cool. Too bad they're all dead now.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
In one universe, anyway. Just want to point that out.
Yeah.
Rick and Morty's about multiverses, so that ain't a big deal. Oh no, they're dead.
Yeah.
In Prime Universe.
Yeah. And then speaking of comics, John Luigi Amo will soon debut his first comic book.
John Leguizamo, yeah.
You may remember him from such movies as the Super Mario Brothers.
I give him crap for that, but I thought he did a pretty decent job in Ant-Man, so I kind of let it go. It was an entertaining character, and apparently he did a pretty good one-man show back in Hollywood. That's where he first started, was doing one-man shows.
Was he in Ant-Man? I don't remember him in Ant-Man.
No,
that's a different guy.
Okay.
Oh, let's check that real quick. Evangeline Lilly, Carol Stone. No, that's Michael Pena.
Are you sure?
Yeah, the guy with the car and is like weirdly civilized.
No, I'm screwing up. Sorry, it's the guy who was like, I was talking to a friend who talked to this person who talked to.
That's Michael Pena.
Really?
Yeah, look it up real quick. He's playing Lewis, the guy who's like oddly civilized at like he goes to like art things and he knows people who knows things. But yeah, that's Michael Pena. Pena. Ew, he's a Scientologist. Gross.
We're gonna get stalked by Scientologists now.
I say bring them on. I will punch all of them. Their lawyers can't stop me. I'm broke.
What are you gonna take? I have nothing with money. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. You were right, man. I can't believe I made that mistake.
Yeah, it's like that didn't sound right.
I was wrong. Shame on me.
His John Leguizamo's biggest thing he's been in the past while. He's been in a bunch of different movies. It's the Ice Age movies that he's been in a lot of, where he plays Shid the Sloth.
The Sloth, which was my second favorite character in that movie. And no matter how hard Ray Ramona will.
If the first characters is everyone else.
No, actually it was Diego, but all right.
He's your second favorite character if everyone else is a character.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
I like Ray Romano, so.
No matter how hard Ray Romano tries, I will never like him in anything above any other person in the movie. That's just me. I never really found him funny. Like, his show, Everybody Loves Raymond, was just shit. It was shit. Not funny.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like, I liked him in Ice Age, but he was, like, bottom of the trio to me.
But yeah, Luigi's making a comic. It's some sort of Spanish comic or something. I'm
going to script. You think I'd be better at this because I speak a bit of Spanish, but it's going to be La Borinqueña, which I do not know the exact pronunciation.
I don't know what it's really about either. It's some like Spanish superhero, Hispanic superhero thing. So
That'll be
I
interesting.
don't know. It could be all right.
Yeah, this could be an interesting thing. You know, I don't. Well, how to put it? He was a good stage writer. I've heard some of his stuff. He's done a one man show, and some of it is pretty funny. So this may be something to read into whenever it gets released.
Yeah. Let's see. Anything else happening right now? Oh, Jerry Lewis passed.
Yeah,
He was 91. I didn't realize he was still alive.
neither did I.
Like,
It's
if people don't know, Nutty Professor,
the original.
the original Nutty Professor, he was a huge comedian.
Yep.
Had like the Jewish stereotype thing before Woody Allen.
Yeah.
He was what they based
Dr. Frink.
the Dr. Frink off of, with the whole Glavin and all the stuff with the ladies in the hood song. And in a Halloween episode, Jerry Lewis voiced Frink's dad.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I not to take away from his death. There's some other news I want to go ahead and let you know.
Well, his death isn't like a super sad one. It's just like, oh, he died. Oh, he was still alive. Oh yeah, he also did the national chairman of a muscular dystrophy association, which I won't donate to until a particular person dies. But that's just getting into my dark past. The rest of you guys, sorry about that. Just hopefully this one guy dies. So, person I have yeah, it's personal shit. But if you want to donate to muscular dystrophy, that's fine. I just have a personal vendetta against one person, and I don't want that one person to getting any sort of treatment or any special stuff that might come out. I want him to suffer.
There you go, though, folks. I would say though, Jerry Lewis was unfortunate because he used to do a lot of charity work with like PBS. So
that was the muscular dystrophy thing.
So that kind of sucks. I got more news. This will be interesting. So they have finally revealed Joker's name.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah. It's Jack Napier.
Yeah.
It's the same name he had in the '89 Batman movie.
Yeah, the Tim Burton Batman movie.
Yeah.
It's the same name that they got from there. So that's pretty good news because Joker came about in the '60s originally.
Like, no, he was back in the '40s.
Okay.
Joker was like in the first Batman comic.
And nobody knows who he was before he was
before even reading the article, my reaction was like, it's Jack Napier, right? And then I'm like, I look at the thing, it's like, oh yeah, it's Jack Napier. Okay, I'm correct.
Yeah. And so that's pretty big news. And they got Jack Napier. They got him. Well, they named him Jack Napier. So this, I mean, that's pretty big because they don't tell you us jack shit about the Joker pre-Joker. And I know a friend of mine who's a big Joker fan, and this might be good news to him.
Yeah.
The other bit of news is, well, let me ask you there, Brian. Have you ever heard of the show Sense8?
Yeah. I didn't get a chance to watch it, and I heard it got canceled early, but I heard it was decent. Isn't that porn company want to make
Yes.
Doesn't some porn company want to do something with it?
Yes.
Is that what you're getting to?
Yes, and it's not a parody, and it's not a porn. It's just they want to buy the rights and they continue the series, which is like the weirdest thing I've ever heard. Besides the time Pornhub said they would plant trees for every view they got for like a month.
Pornhub does some good shit. Yeah, they do some weird good shit, and it's like, okay, Pornhub, all right, that's that works.
I like the idea of jerking it for charity.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a bit of news there. That's buck wild to me. I'm not gonna lie.
So anything else on the news docket?
Well, there's one big bit of news. I'm not sure if it's elsewhere or not, but Joker is gonna become a hero for a while in Batman.
Oh,
right?
yeah, I think it's like an alternate universe story.
Yeah.
And that's cool. I like Elseworlds. Elseworlds are always usually pretty fun.
And they get pretty interesting. This is not the first time he's been a hero. There's been an alternate version where he donned the red hood again after Dip
Well,
Dip
he
kept going.
he wasn't ever a hero as the Red Hood.
It wasn't elsewhere. Same as this one.
Okay. Let's see. What else do we have? Oh, there's gonna be no more Mass Effect Andromeda content because it's what happens when you rush your games, guys. You fuck yourself over.
Yeah, I'm disappointed about this. I'm not entirely surprised. Basically, is Mass Effect's not going to get any single player or just gonna be no DLC at all. I'm not surprised with this. When they announced that they were going to make no single player a few months ago, I was like, this game is dead. They're gonna
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna update it and then just let it go. They're done.
Yep. Um, is there anything else? Some esports stuff going on.
Yep.
Oh, there it is. I found the horror game I was talking about earlier. I'm gonna go ahead and send that your way. It's called Monster Slaughter. It taps into the best thing about watching campy horror movies: the order in which teens die. In Monster Slaughter, the player is the beast killing off the obnoxious teens.
Yeah.
You operate as a family of monsters who kick down the doors of a log cabin to brutally kill a group of teenage stereotypes. Each player designates a human's ideal death order before playing, and if they pull it off, they earn extra points. To strategize, players can sneak through doors, search for their target, or even toss human weapons to defend themselves, delaying their deaths to meet their planned monster schedule. After each round, the moon token is moved, designating the night passing. Point based, and yeah, you basically do like the cheerleader should die first, and then the jock, and then the nerd, then leaving the bookish girl.
Well, yeah. Bookish Hero always ends up living in horror movies.
And they've been playing it at Gen Con, and it will arrive on Kickstarter this Halloween.
I mean, that's sweet. That's awesome. Uh, this looks like it'll be a fun game. Gonna get group
Yeah.
together, especially because it's August, but it's towards the end of August, so it's only like a month and a few days to October. That'd be a good game to play with friends in October, just to screw around during Halloween.
Yep, that'll be a fun one. Let's see what else. Apparently No Man's Sky is actually fun now
Yeah.
after some updates.
After what, like 2 years after it's
Yeah.
2 years after its release? Like, I'm probably gonna. I still have the game. I haven't given it up yet because I knew that they were gonna update. Although, if it's fun after 2 years, it still makes me not like the creators of it. So this will be interesting. People are really digging how the game has changed since its release. A lot of great sceneries and everything, and finally the ability to build bases and multiplayer. They just added multiplayer recently.
That's pretty cool. Supposedly they were supposed to have multiplayer the whole time,
Yeah.
but a lot of people doubted that.
Yeah. Well, they actually had, well, not them specifically, but there was two people who went out of the way to get onto the same planet when the game first came out, and they could not find each other, so there was no multiplayer. Like
Yep.
there was no multiplayer in the beginning of the release, even though they told us in the beginning before before it was released that they would be multiplayer. They did live up to that expectation 2 years later.
That's speaking of games. Sonic Mania came out.
Have you got to play it?
I haven't yet to play it, but I've seen stuff, and apparently it's the best Sonic game in decades.
Really?
It basically, the thing behind it is it's a bunch of old Sonic fans got Sega's backing to make a Sonic game, and it's literally if you took Sonic 1 through CD, so like Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, and Knuckles, like Sonic and Knuckles, and then Sonic 2 and Knuckles, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and then Sonic CD, very little bit of Sonic CD, and mash them together into one game. So it's that classic Sonic style with just the one thing, and they're not trying to like overdo it. They're not trying to they weren't trying to do anything fancy. It's just they remade stages, kind of minced together. Apparently the plot is something to do with time travel.
Okay.
But yeah, that one apparently is the best Sonic game in decades.
Well, that's good because to me the last good one was Sonic Adventure 2, and then after that was just.
And that one's not even that great if you look at it in retrospect.
By the way, on the same note as Sonic, somebody's making a fan game where you just take care of chows.
That's all anybody I knew played Sonic Adventure 2 for.
I mean,
That's the only reason people would like have fun. Like it was an okay platformer, but like the Sonic parts were cool. But did you really care about the Knuckles slash Rouge parts or the Tails and Robotnik parts?
uh, when I played the game as a kid, I cared about the main storyline, but I will admit
You played it as an adult?
I have not played it as an adult. That is a fair point.
Yeah.
And it may be that the game is basically unplayable. Who knows? I still got to jump on that.
It's the Sonic and Shadow levels are decent. Like they flow well, but it's the other stuff that doesn't. And most people I know played a ton of Sonic Adventure, and Sonic Adventure 2 was because of the Chow Garden. So a standalone Chow Garden game makes a ton of sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, it'll probably get shut down by Sega, but in the meantime, enjoy it while it's out, guys.
Well, no, that's the thing is Sega is oddly supportive of people who make fan games. That the whole Sonic Mania thing was them like, hey, fan guys, we see you're making a bunch of games of our stuff. What if we gave you actual money to make a game?
Well, yeah, because they don't have to spend as much money on actual game developers.
Yes. Sega, hey, other companies, be like Sega. Support people who want fan games. Those things come from love.
I'm looking at you, Nintendo.
I am too. We gotta always remember Sega was always the cooler one to Nintendo.
Back in the old 90s when the Sega Genesis was about beating the Super Nintendo.
Yep. So, oh, they're phasing out the animatronics from Chuck E. Cheese's.
Yeah, and people
Which
about this for some
it's
reason.
terrible because every child should experience those terrifying monstrosities.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like the idea wasn't creepy to me as a kid, and they got worse whenever they released Five Nights at Freddy's. You know.
Yeah. Oh, what I want is I want them to sell them to those guys who reprogram them to perform other songs. Because there's some really good ones that I've run into where they took an old like those animatronic stage show things and reprogrammed them so that they do like like metal songs and rap songs and like not safe for work songs.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I don't know whether I have one that I go to occasionally, but I don't remember where to find it. I'll have to try to look for it at some point.
That would be really cool. People are upset about them getting rid of the animatronics. To me, that's weird. I don't see why people are upset about that. Maybe it's animatronic fans.
No, it's just it's a nostalgia thing. It's a thing of, hey, you're getting rid of something from my childhood. My child should experience the terrible things that my childhood had.
I didn't hear people bitching about whenever they changed who Chuck E. Cheese looked like.
No, they bitched about that too.
Oh, they did? Oh.
Yep.
I think the most surprising part of this is that Chuck E. Cheese is still around.
Right? Did you know Chuck E. Cheese was made by the guy who created the Atari?
Really?
I think it was the Atari guy. Give me a second. But while I'm looking that up, I want you to check these out. Hopefully they'll load for you.
Nintendo consoles rendering themselves. What? That's some meta stuff right there. Huh. I mean, it's not bad, although the Super Nintendo couldn't render Legend of Zelda. See, I'm actually not surprised about the Nintendo 64 one, because I think they had a Nintendo 64 image in one of their games before.
Okay, yeah. Chuck E. Cheese was founded by the Atari co-founder, Nolan Bushnell.
Well, that's cool.
But yeah, no, those Nintendo consoles rendered by their own technology.
That's pretty cool. Check it out. You guys can find that on Kotaku, by the way.
I guess I'll go back just a little further, see if there's anything else going on. But if not, is there anything else? Oh my god.
What?
Ignore party to pet dogs in this video game.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
That sounds great.
Sounds like up my alley. I mean, I could interact with these people, but there's a dog over there. I'd rather pet the
I'm
dog.
gonna go, or a kitty also works, or any other small fluffy animal. You ignore the people and you go pet the animal.
Ah, art reflects life.
Yep.
That looks like it'd be a pretty fun game for like 20
Right?
minutes. I'm going to say for me, probably for like 20 minutes.
I love how the Super Nintendo one looks better than the N64 one.
Yeah.
GameCube looks pretty good. So does the Switch and the Wii's.
The Wii's.
Yeah.
I think that might be more or less it for this episode.
Yeah. So you can expect some content from us elsewhere. I have a Loot Crate unboxing video I'm gonna throw up on our YouTube channel soon, as well as my first solo Let's Play.
Also, more good news. Our YouTube channel is up, and you can find our first episode on there as well.
Yep. It's all Geekus Speakus.
Yep. And of course, as always, you can find us on our social media sites like Twitter, Facebook, and Tumblr. Geekus Speakus. That should be a surprise to no one. We are now, as we mentioned in the last episodes, on pretty much every major podcast platform. We're on iTunes, TuneIn, and
I think the only one we're not on is Stitcher. Yeah, we're on Podbean, SoundCloud, TuneIn, iTunes, Google Play, and that's all at Geekus Speakus. So yeah, we're there. Expect some more content from us, as well as some, and projects as we get along, as we go into the future and figure out stuff. And yeah,
we do have some stuff in the works that we can't talk about yet, but hopefully we'll be able to post here within the next couple of weeks in regards to what that will be.
But yeah, I'll be posting a Loot Crate unboxing, complete unsponsored. Just this is my Loot Crate for June, because it took them literally a month for it to get to me. Something to do with the shirts. Hey Loot Crate, if you're listening, I'm fine with getting a partial box. Just send me the shirt later. Just throw in an apology note in the box to be like, hey, we don't have the shirt, so I don't have to wait a month to get it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was June's Loot Crate, and now it's August.
Yeah.
So yeah. Even if you guys don't send the shirts, at least send the rest of the content. Just
yeah.
saying.
Anything I should shill out today? Anything you want to shill out this week?
Nothing at this time. We're pretty much set for this week.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds good to me. So, so we'll see you guys in 2 weeks again, because we are bi-monthly.
Yeah, we are bi-monthly. Everyone enjoy us. But yeah, well, my name is Dean.
And I'm Bryan.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
And have a wonderful rest of your day.
Good night. Thank you, everyone, for listening to this week's episode of our podcast. I would like to apologize to John Leguizamo and Michael Pena for the mistake. Sorry, guys. Bad mistake. And I pulled a Steve Harvey. Anyway, we do appreciate everyone for listening this week. Unfortunately, as you might have told, there were some slight audio issues due to some volume on my side. Anyway, we try the best we can to make sure that we're still able to be listened. You can, of course, find us on our social media accounts. You can find us at facebook.com/Geekus Speakus, or you can find us at our Twitter page at Geekus Speakus. We're also now on Tumblr. Did I say Tumblr? I meant to say Tumblr. You can find us on Tumblr, also Geekus Speakus. We are now on Google Play, iTunes, and TuneIn, as well as our normal Podbean and SoundCloud, so that's exciting. Feel free to contact us, give us a rating, and give us a review on anything like iTunes. We really appreciate that. I would like to thank the band The Spinwires for the song Girls Like You. You can, of course, find them on Bandcamp for their newest album. We appreciate if anybody tells your friends and family about this podcast. We are very much independent, so we don't pay to advertise. Anyway, Thank you for listening, and have a good night.